What up, you lab rats? This is episode number 78, 9, something like that. Today we're continuing talking about primal branding, the rituals. Stay tuned. Alright, hey, what's up? Welcome to the Lab Rat Dailies show, the in-between show, the daily show on the main show on the Get the Lab podcast with Kevin and I. That airs on Wednesday. Today, though, because it's Sunday, it's Cozy Sunday, and I've warmed up and cozied up in my beach chair, not on the beach. When I'm not working, editing stuff like on my standing desk, whenever I write and whenever I read, I come to my really cool beach chair and do that here. And it's pretty cool because then I can take this kind of office anywhere I want. Outside, downstairs, upstairs, on the corner, on the ledge of the stairs, anywhere. So anyway, today I'm actually recording this episode in advance because I'm trying to batch all of the episodes together. If you haven't heard of batching, that just means shoot or do a shit ton of work one day so you can free up the rest of your week. And it's been really instrumental because it's made me become even better at speaking when you batch things, because you're just doing it over and over and over again, repetitive motions like practice. And even though I've made how many videos by now, I still don't feel like I'm on my game. And so every time I get to make a video, and if I can batch it, I get better and better at it. So there's a tip for you. Okay, so we're going to talk about the rituals, okay? The rituals in Primal Branding. This is part 4 of this whole kind of book review, dissemination, Cliff's Notes kinds of things. That's what I do on Cozy Sundays. I disseminate books that I'm reading to you guys, to you lab rats, so you can learn and incorporate them into your business or brand, okay? And very fittingly, we're talking about Primal Branding. Like I said, this is the 4th installment or series. You can check out the other ones here, or in the description. All those links will be linked up for you very conveniently. So let's talk about the rituals, because last week we talked about the icons, which was very important. You know, there's certain icons that represent your brand. And now we're going to talk about the rituals. And I'm just going to read a couple of passages or statements in here that really stood out to me. Okay, so rituals are like the key ritualistic behaviors. It's so many things that you are obviously thinking about, and then it's so many things that you're perhaps not thinking about, as terms of, you know, the repetitive, go through the motions kinds of experiences. And rituals are the repeated interactions that people have with your enterprise, your business, your thing. Okay, so every time I start the show with like, you know, what up, you lab rats, you know, right there, I'm taking you guys through a ritual. And when I end the show, I say something like, once again, my name is Megan. I'm reminding you to get in the lab, peace out, that whole thing. That's a ritual. Okay. And so he goes into so many really useful and repetitive examples about what rituals are. Like logging onto the internet in the morning is a ritual. Checking your phone before you even, you know, kiss your spouse is a ritual. Whether that's good or not, I think you could argue not. And I'm guilty of that too. Searching on Google is a ritual. Ritual replaces chaos with order. Rituals are active engagements that can be imbued with either positive or negative meaning. So if you're aware of the rituals of your brand, you can now begin to strategize and be very, very meticulous about what kind of rituals you are taking your audience through or your customer through, right? So rituals are touch points with your brand and ideology that might be more pleasant, more engaging, enhanced, simplified, less frustrating, or more fun. So all of these things that play into the overall experience of your brand and what you're selling, they're all really important, whether they're really big rituals or really small rituals, okay? So he also talks about the the consequences that happen or take place when rituals are no longer being incorporated or maintained. So he gave an example of when it's just not the same here anymore. And I want to share with you guys a story where from my sophomore year till about when I was about 23, 24, till about 23, 24, I was really highly engaged and highly involved in Taekwondo. And when I was young, about 15 or so, it was like my life. I lived at the training studio, and the master there was like my second father, and the people there were my brothers and sisters. And it was very, very much a militaristic type of teaching. The master was super Korean, super duper Korean, super militaristic. And he would hit us with sticks, those bamboo swords, those kendo swords, and if we made a mistake. And so we learned very quickly on how to be really, really precise with form and obedience and discipline and all this sort of stuff. And I grew up with that for some time in my life. And I really admired that until I later came to leave that school, and I came to another school, and it had the musings of being militaristic and being that school that I once loved, and being what all Taekwondo schools are usually about, very militaristic sort of sport and martial art. And it just wasn't the same, just like here. It's just not the same here anymore. Now, Taekwondo schools and most martial arts schools are catering to children instead of for me. I mean, I haven't been in that world in such a long time, but at that time it was no longer being catered to the military aspect of discipline and stuff like that. It was more like an after school activity. And even though, yes, doing martial arts is an after school activity, it was safer, more docile. That's the word. It was a lot more docile, and it just wasn't the same for me anymore. And I sooner, left that world because it didn't have for me those same sort of rituals that I used to go through. And so I just wanted to share that. And it does become sort of maintenance kind of thing to remember and to keep alive those rituals, the culture, the soul of an enterprise. For me it was that school, and for businesses, big, large, small, whatever, they should have some sort of rituals. I gotta sneeze. It's springtime. Okay. No, I'm gonna read another passage to you guys. In the hubbub of modern life. Yeah. Okay. In the hubbub of modern life, rituals can often be overlooked and understated, but they are no less important today than they were 2,000 years ago. So, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Oh, wait, I just gotta recover. Here's another statement. Rituals are the meaningful, repeated points of contact between you and your guest, customer, client, or target market. Okay, so he even goes on to explain how Red Wing, the shoe company, the boot company, and I remember my dad buying his first pair of Red Wing boots, and he was like so proud of them. And I was saying, I wonder why, what makes these boots so great? And, I just had to trust him on his word back in the day. But now I hear about this story, and let me just read it to you guys. Okay, so he goes, if you're a logger, you need boots that have a high heel and a rugged sole. Iron workers need perfect balance. They use a wedge sole that's very soft, so if their foot is slightly off the beam, they can feel it. Interesting. If you work on a chicken farm, says Murphy, chicken shit is incredibly acidic and you need the proper material. So the first thing we ask is, what do you want it for? So Red Wing is not only just a boot company, they really cater to the specificity of the worker and what they need it for, and they're looking out for the best interest of the worker so the worker can do his or her job. And so that is really important as to how Red Wing is incredibly powerful with its rituals, the interactions between them and their customer, and not just their customer like on a general base, but every single one of them, and they talk about how feet are like snowflakes, and that they understand that and respect that and have a system in place in order to address the specific needs of people, and not just in their jobs, but just people, because people are different, you know. Every footprint is like a snowflake. And I just thought that was super interesting. And they will, even in this day and age, they won't sell their boots online because they believe in their own rituals and the culture and how they serve their customers. And so that went to show me something as popular as Red Wing boots to not even sell online, because they, you know, they respect the industry that they're selling to, which is, you know, workers that have highly specified jobs, you know, welding people, iron workers, lumber people, you know, people that do these hard labor tasks. And it shows me that they truly respect their end user because of all these measures that they take. So I think that was really interesting, guys. And next week we're going to talk about the pagans, the non-believers, and why that's important to a brand. But for the rituals in this chapter, it goes to show that when you take the time to create culture, society, community through the rituals that you are consciously aware of in your enterprise, right, in your business and in your brand, and you are consciously aware of that, it shows that you respect that audience, and I respect you guys. And so I will always try to bring my best in consistency and mixing it up and keeping it raw. That's a ritual. Oftentimes it's not like I'm a sailor, but I do cuss sometimes, right? And that's kind of that's a part of me. That's a part of the brand and the ritual when I want to emphasize certain things. The way that I open and close the show, the way that I'll maybe put some pictures over here, and the way that Cozy Sunday is reserved for feeling more cozier than me standing at a desk or standing in front of a blank screen or something like that feels commercial. And so a lot of these little things, you know, it's a lot to think about, but it's also a lot of opportunity for you to kind of move forward in your brand and how you're going to connect with people, how you're going to build that attachment with your brand. So I think it's super interesting. I hope you guys find it interesting too. If you did, please hit that like button, that thumbs up button, and subscribe to become a Lab Rat today. And next week, we're going to talk about pagans and non-believers on the next Cozy Sunday episode. And thank you so much for always tuning in and being your awesome selves. I really appreciate it. And good things. So we'll see you next time here on the Lab Rat Dailies. And once again, my name is Megan, reminding you to get in the lab. We'll see you. Peace out.